Welcome to Winners, Wallets, and Worldviews, the only show that's going to teach you
how to be somebody.
Where in your life did you learn that you're not good enough?
Take what you're most passionate about and what you're most fearful of, and what is the plan to overcome that fear, and what is the plan to enact that passion.
What's going on, guys? I am here today with my lovely wife, Marissa, and we're going to share with you a little bit about removing the noise in your life, eliminating distractions, keeping relentless focus on things. So we have run into this issue ourselves.
Oh, let's not get into it just yet.
Well, yeah, but
this is not going to be a typical Aaron Armstrong Facebook morning live. We're just going to add a little spice to some things.
Can I drink your water?
Yes.
Okay.
And I actually just want to address right now because we're
I'm sharing my germs with you.
I know, it's gross. I made him switch everything around because the lighting going the other way was terrible. And now we look like we're sitting in a closet, but it's still the same room.
Yeah, I don't get that. So like I have this beautiful display right here to make it look really cool, like cool background for these videos and stuff. And then Marissa just, nope. We're going to switch and look like we're taking it from a closet here with a freaking back, dude.
The lighting. And now, wait, first we have to talk about the 10 eagles that are sitting in our backyard. Like, no kidding, 10 bald eagles
this
that
is
are
a
just
pretty
sitting
American,
on the ice.
This is a pretty American morning.
Yeah, it's
amazing. So what it does is there's these big trees right here, and the eagles sit up here and they can see fish from light years away for somehow. And they'll sit up in the trees, but now the ice is frozen over and they're just sitting out on the ice right now, like little clamped down there, and it's really windy and they're just chilling. So it's pretty cool. And a lot of you guys that have listened to this, like, you know that that bird is pretty rare in North America, but it's like a synchronicity to me, and it always means something when it shows up. So I'm trying to figure that out today. That's always the fun part. But
yeah, what a powerful bird.
All right, so we got some people jumping on Instagram here. Marissa, you just keep your eyes peeled, and if you guys have any questions, because feel free to always jump in. If you have questions, interrupt us. That's what this is all about, is so we can answer some questions. So thank you, guys.
Yes.
All right, so what we're talking about today, we're going to be talking about...
First, why don't you introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course. So my name is Aaron Armstrong. I am the owner of Armstrong Ventures, which is an online consulting company where we talk about leadership, and I coach leaders through various forms of storytelling, whether that's podcasting, one-on-one coaching, or different videos on YouTube or different content. So that's a little bit about me. I hold the podcast Winners, Wallets, and Worldviews, which more than likely this may be repurposed on there eventually. We'll find out. So if you guys are hearing it, this is live for the first time. If not, you'll hear it later. This is my lovely wife, Marissa, and I'll let her introduce herself. So.
And my name is Marissa Armstrong, and I am a fitness specialist, natural health advocate, and educator. I'm also an entrepreneur. I own Marissa's Fit Boutique right here in downtown Oshkosh. So if anyone is from the Wisconsin area, is from Oshkosh, please, you are so more than welcome to come on into my studio over on Wagoo. And this has been a dream of mine since I was 15 years old. So the vision has always been there. So it's just,
and you've had people commute from quite a ways away.
Yeah. So we have people from like almost half hour away that I train.
Well, 2 hours before.
Oh, 2 hours. Yes. Yeah.
So people commute.
Incredible.
Marissa's legit. So those guys that are in the area, make sure you check her out. Do you offer any online programs right now?
No, not right now. So everything is in studio right now. It's been booming.
Cool. Well, with that said, guys, so we are in the...
Wait, one more thing.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
So one more thing. So we are launching, well, not launching, but the podcast that I am actually on is this week, right?
It's Monday.
It's Monday. So it launches on Monday. So that is going to be an incredible podcast. So throwing in Winners, Wallets, and Worldview again. I am the guest speaker of that podcast that is uploaded on Monday, and it is some crazy conversation we are having. So
we went pretty deep in that, which we were like,
also plug that in.
Yeah, we always notice like how deep our conversations go in the car and stuff. So we wanted to just have a conversation and see what that was like. So if you guys are interested, make sure you check that out on Monday's episode. So
all right, now we can get into it.
Yeah, now we can get into it here. People are jumping on all platforms, so it should be fun. But so as we started to experience a little bit of success, I would say, in the first couple of years of our entrepreneur's journey, what's been really challenging, I know for me, and Marissa and I, we talk about this, is removing opportunities that don't serve you, that like seem really attractive or they seem really good, And it's just like, how do you really focus in on
the temptations that's going to take you off track?
Yeah.
Holy smokes, you'll be attacked with so many.
Well, it's crazy because it's like they have a good opportunity of making money. A lot of times they seem in the short term like they're aligned, but what it's doing is it ends up like pulling you away from your real mission. So how do you get to the point where you really understand what that is? I don't know, like for me, it's just been like, I am not actively seeking, well, I shouldn't say that, but like, I'm not like actively seeking or doing any real estate investing right now, but like, I'm getting a lot of deals coming through, and it's really hard for me to be like, I don't want to do one of these deals because I need to focus on this next phase of my business. And I know, Marissa, you have a ton of different examples where, I mean, I was even bringing something up to you about launching a program together where we were going to do something. You were like, no, like I've got to focus in on what I'm focusing on right now.
Yeah, so I think both of us fall into the category of like squirrel brain or scatterbrain, where we're just the shiny object syndrome, where you're just all over the place. Like, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. And I know you talked about that on one of your
shiny object syndrome.
One of your Facebook lives. But it's really nailing down and preventing that from happening, because the more off track you become, the broader, your lane is, and the more your arms have to reach out towards everything, and the harder it becomes. And I'm telling you from experience, you really have to narrow down, this is the goal, these are the next steps I need to take in these 3 months, and nothing is going to distract me, because you are going to be hit with so many distractions. And usually it starts to pop up when you do have that laser focused goal in mind. These distractions will start to pop up during this time, because you are so ready to take on this next level, this next version of yourself. And there's stuff that's just going to come into your track and come into your life that do not serve you, because that's just kind of the way it goes.
Yeah, the word,
being aware of that.
And the analogy I'd like to give you guys, I mean, the word I like to think of is pressure. And when we think of pressure, we're thinking of stress or under pressure or whatever that is. I'm talking about it totally differently. I'm looking at it as like the physical properties, the mechanical components of pressure. I mean, if you're I'm looking right outside, and then we have thin ice out on the lake. If you spread yourself out very thin, you can lay out on the ice without falling in. But when you stand up on it, you've concentrated the pressure and you've minimized the surface area so you can actually fall through. Well, think about, you're trying to break through a barrier, a wall. You're trying to break through ice. You're trying to break through something. You need to concentrate your energy into enough pressure to where you can actually jab through something and you can actually move forward. And that's like when people come up with laser focus. Well, laser is just concentrated light. Like light just shines like this, but when you concentrate it and make it very tight, it actually has enough pressure that it can burn through things. And you can do the same thing when you have enough pressure in your life, when you have enough water pressure, when you're trying to push through something. So if you can concentrate all of your energy into a very tight, streamlined thing, you can actually get in a very, you can actually penetrate through your actual barriers in your life. And I think that's really the power of focus. And it's something that not just Marissa and I found out by trial and error. This was advice given to us by everybody. And it was always successful people are like, look, if you spread yourself out too thin, you really will just half-ass everything instead of whole-ass one thing. And it's like, well, think about it, right?
Yeah. No, actually, the biggest distractions are the ones closest to you. So your loved ones, your family, your friends, honestly, the biggest distractions are the ones who care about you the most. So when I was starting my business, I was, just in the phase of creating the building. We were in remodeling phase. Just the word was getting out that I was starting a women's fitness studio. And then, from family, from friends, like everyone's opinions start flying in because, they want you to succeed. So they're just giving you everything they got. Maybe you should market to men. Oh, maybe you should not just do one-on-one personal training. Why don't you do classes, get more people in? Maybe you should do it for just particular women who are moms.
We start to question your beliefs, right?
Yeah, you're just being bombarded with everybody else's opinions that are not in this vision that you have, which is okay because they can't see the grand vision. They don't know what is in your mind. They don't know what you see. So they're just trying to help you along the way, but actually they could be hurting you. They could be taking you off course, taking you in a direction that you don't need to be going down, because you need to trust that gut instinct within yourself. You need to move forward what feels really good for you. And that, honestly, is my biggest tip, because those are the loudest distractions, are the ones you love, the ones who are surrounding you.
Well, it's cheap advice, right? So, I mean, literally the definition of cheap advice is somebody that hasn't put in enough energy to consider all information, all facts to give you the best genuine, they'll give you the best genuine information.
Or who've never done it before themselves.
Right. So, like,
so you're just feeding off of their fear.
So, like, think about when someone gives you a piece of advice that I'm going to dictate as cheap advice. They're going to sit there and give it to you with almost no information, with no vested skin in the game, and with really nothing tangible that they can provide value to you. It's very simple. It's just like a very shallow, oh, this is that. And it's in your head and it's gone. And to them, your business, your life, your success, your leadership, everything is just like a second to them in their life. And then they go carry on with the rest of their life. But to you, it's everything. So look at the disproportionality between the advice that you're getting from them and the advice that you're telling yourself. And so many of us actually take what that little 30-second glimpse of their life window into you. It's just like a passerby or on a train. I mean, it's like literally that's how fast it is to them. We take that advice like it's gospel, like it's so true, like it matters, when really it doesn't at all. I mean, think about it. It's just a passerby. They're just giving you, oh, this is what you should do. Boom. And it sits there and sits in our head and festers and sits in our soul. And we think about it and we question everything we've done, all of our research, when it's just cheap advice. It just showed up for 2 seconds. There's no thought put into it. It was nothing. And here we are sitting here all day wondering if what we're doing is right, questioning our entire plan, everything, because of what? Because of one person just wanted to provide a little glimpse of something without any research or anything of value.
Well,
does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, because how many times do you tell someone like, oh, I have this idea, like I'm opening up a women's personal training studio, it's going to be this, and that, like it's going to be awesome. And then they go, how many times do they go, that's a great idea, I love everything you have to say, I have no advice for you? Never. That never happens.
Wait to Morgan. Morgan's on.
Morgan. Hi, Morgan. What's up? Because that never happens. That never happens. They have to give their 2 cents. They have to give their opinion. They have to give, no, maybe you shouldn't do that. How about you consider this? How about you consider that? It's like that opposite effect.
But what qualifies you to give me advice in that second, right? People are doing it.
But again, most of the time they're doing it out of love because they want to see you succeed. But it's, for the most part, not the best.
They're doing it out of love, but it's still not coming, I would say, from a higher place. And
yes,
what I mean,
it's coming out of fear of you failing,
or they're trying to do it to feel significant, right? So like,
or feel significant,
right? They're trying to contribute something to your business to feel significant in some way, when really they didn't think about the advice they're giving. They didn't think about anything. They didn't consider all the information, all the facts, and they're going to give it to you. But it's like that is one of the pieces that they're going to do. And it's like, how do you start to remove the distraction of that from your business, from your life? And it comes with coming back inside of you, right? And what I always talk about is inner work, right? We talk about inner work. This is, it doesn't have to be all woo-woo and meditative or like things like that. It can also just be observing your thoughts and being extremely aligned and focused in what your outcome ought to be. So right now with Marissa, like she's got very, very specific outcomes she's looking for in her business.
Very specific clientele I'm targeting.
Yeah, because that's what one of the first things you should do as a business owner is identify your ideal clients or ideal customers, whatever that is.
What is your niche?
Yeah,
niche.
And it's just like, what is that person? I'm saying paint a picture. Like if you could draw the person, what would they look like? What would their hair look like? What color eyes do they have? I mean, what does their body look like? What are their habits? Like everything, so you know exactly how to market to this person. Like it has to be very specific. And if you're trying to sell something or create a product or create a service or something that doesn't appeal to that person, well, then you're getting distracted with something. Then you're not finding out who you're actually marketing to. Because how are you going to start solving problems in the world if you don't know what problems you're solving? And the people that have the problems are your ideal clients or ideal customers. So like you want to have a business, we get that. Okay, you want to make some money. Let's just start with that. You want to make some money, you got to do that. Okay, well, you got to be valuable then. Okay, so how do we increase our value? Well, we got to understand who we're being valuable to. And then that means, okay, so we got to identify somebody who has a problem. Well, that becomes your ideal client, ideal customer, somebody that you're going to try to contribute value to their life. If you didn't do any of that work in your mind or in your thought, you are literally running around spinning your wheels.
Totally. And just to kind of bounce off of that, it kind of comes back to the phrase, you need thicker skin. because you can't let everything somebody says to you absorb into your thoughts, absorb into your mind, because you will become so distracted by that. You need to let things not penetrate the skin, not penetrate the brain. Take into consideration, thank you for your opinion, thank you for your advice, but let it go. If it's not aligned with you, let it go, and don't be afraid to. Honestly, I really truly believe you cannot fail at being yourself. You can't, like, that is like, honestly, I need to like put that on a wall on my studio, because I truly believe you cannot fail being your authentic self, because that's who you're meant to be. That's who you're meant to be in this world, and what you're able to offer and what people portray of you.
Yeah.
So
well, how do you decide? Okay, so there's always a balance, right? Everything I do comes with a balance. How do you decide when somebody's worth taking advice from?
My sister's on,
and it is
cool.
worth. How do you decide when it is worth taking advice from someone, or changing your strategy a little bit, or if it's just noise? How do you discern?
Oh yes. So what was I reading? So honestly, you need to take advice from the person who has skin in the game, who's been where you're at. They've been through the rough. They've been through now the high point. They've achieved what you are looking to do. They're not like stuck within the muck. They're not stuck within the game still. They're still, they've become out of that portion. You need to take advice from people who've been there, done that, succeeded at it, not just done it, succeeded at it. And take that advice from people. So that's what I look into, even when hiring a coach. Like my current coach right now, who I've been working with, she's been there, done that, and succeeded at it. So I was like, no brainer. Like, here we go. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this too. I'm ready to succeed there. Like right now, I'm trucking through the mud, trying to build up this brand, build up this name, build up this community. So I need advice from somebody who's succeeded at it, and not just somebody who wants to be significant and give me their pity advice.
Oh yeah, that's a huge one, right? Well, there's two people, right? There's people that have skin in the game, and then there's people that have proven results, right? So that's what you're looking for. So I mean, I had a millionaire mentor a long time ago, one of my first millionaire mentors, and he told me, like, look, I can give you all this advice on how to create wealth, how to create abundance, how to build a business. But I'm gonna let you know, I just got divorced the third time. I cannot give you love advice, and I will not be able to give you relationship advice. And it was like, I appreciate that honesty. It's
absolutely.
Okay, it's like, okay, like, look, if I'm going to be listening to him, it's going to be strictly about business principles and things on creating wealth.
Probably not relationships.
But not a good idea to take his advice on relationships. So it's like, you should think about the same thing, where if you're trying to attract some type of outcome, first define the outcome. I mean, I don't know, like, that alone would probably put you like ahead of 80% of people in the world, just by knowing what you want. I mean, so many of us go through life blind. It's just like, we just walk through this, and then things get thrown at us, circumstances, challenges, adversity, opportunities, they all just get thrown at us.
They think about their to-do list, but they don't think about their dream list.
Ooh, yeah. I mean,
so true. On a daily basis, how many times do you write down your to-do list? Every day? Every other hour?
And how many people are just
Who writes down their dreams every day? Who reminds themselves of their dreams every single day?
Well, that just brings up to like what
That's like almost barbaric.
What I quoted this morning. It's like, how many people do you know that are just extremely busy but aren't doing anything?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we've fallen into that trap where we like feel good being super busy. And we're like, wow, we have this meeting, that place, this place. And we're like, what are we doing? What's the outcome of all these? Are we just like filling up our schedule to fill up our schedule?
And that's where I posted today on my Instagram. I think it showed up on Facebook too, but it's just like, it's Sun Tzu, author of Art of War. And we studied this book at West Point of how to create businesses and strategy. But what he says is the tactics before strategy is noise before the defeat. Tactics with no strategy is noise before the defeat. You know what that means? That means tactics are the day-to-day. That's the operations of what you're doing. And if there's no guiding strategy or guiding principles, you are going to be spinning your wheels going absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. It's important that you have some type of compass. You have some type of distance that you're aiming for, because you can get off course, but you can eventually realign with the distance. And I don't know how many people, like, we have friends, a very specific friend I can think of that is so busy all the time, can't show up with anybody, can't do anything, can't return a text, a phone call, nothing, and is doing absolutely nothing towards his dreams, is doing absolutely nothing towards where he's trying to go with his life. He's literally just so occupied by the daily grind, that he has no ability to lift his head up and actually achieve things. We used to talk about creating movies, creating businesses, creating all this crazy dreams. We can't make you sin, but he can make you busy. And it's like, that is one of the things I think you got to think about.
And you don't make any time for divine interventions. You know, those things that pop into your life where it was just like luck, or that what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Things that pop into your life.
Synchronicities.
Yes, or you're blind to it. You're blind to the divine intervention because you're so busy in the day-to-day, the mundane.
I like that quote by Jason right here. Don't grind in circles.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is a fun story I tell every once in a while. And I have a black lab. I had a black lab when I was a kid, and he still lives with my parents. And he was so obsessed with sticks, he even lost an eye because of sticks.
Like his half of his
so he has like
gone.
one eye now, one-eye lab, running around in circles, right?
Yeah,
so now he has one eye, so he can't really find sticks if you throw it to him. Just as obsessed with sticks as he was before, right? Didn't even really think about the fact that he lost an eye to a stick.
To a stick.
So we throw a stick way out in the yard to him, and he will just pew, 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 all over the yard, just sprinting in circles for hours looking for just this one stick. And then it takes me I'll sit there 20 minutes, let him struggle, and then I'll just walk right directly to the stick. I'll pick it up and I'll hand it to him. I mean, that is like what Jason's saying right here, grinding in circles. People just spin their wheels. They're just wasting their time if there's no strategy. And you're going to start getting distracted. You're going to start seeing shiny objects. You're going to start seeing different
But are
things.
people purposely distracting themselves because they're fearful of making space and room for that time to actually pursue what they should be pursuing because out of fear? That's the next question. Are you purposely distracting yourself? Are you purposely making yourself busy? I'm fault to this. That's how I know this.
Yeah.
I purposely if I don't want to do something like this Facebook Live sometimes, like, oh no, wait, I have like emails to write, AJ. I can't jump on. Like, there's so much going on in my world on a Saturday morning.
And that's exactly where, so Tammy Price is a woman in our mastermind group, and she is the best-selling author of the book, Shifting into High Gear. And she is a medical intuitive and believes that all answers are driven off of the fear of rejection and abandonment. Okay, so that's a stretch for most of us to think about, but let's go here for a second. So if you are distracted with something, it's coming from a place of fear or abandonment or rejection. So how does that make any sense? Well, what you're doing is you are now trying to find acceptance by searching for something instead of focusing on something. Does that kind of make sense? I mean, what you're doing is you're saying that me removing myself, I have a better chance of acceptance from taking this than I do from doing what I'm currently doing that's more aligned. Or I have a better acceptance of doing something with this.
I'm going to give a quick example, then you can continue.
Yeah.
So AJ works at a pretty big company here in town, Oshkosh Corporation. And when he tells people, I work as an engineer manager at Oshkosh Corporation, that is accepted by everyone in town, by family, by friends. That is like,
well, they can't believe you want to be an entrepreneur.
But no. And then if you actually ask him, like, what is his end goal? What does he like dream to be? And if he told people he wants to be a movie producer, because he has scripts on scripts on scripts of movies he's written, that would be like, oh, this guy's nuts. Like, where does this, who does he think he is? Where does this idea come from? Wow, you're just, asking to fail kind of thing, like not accepted. So there's my example.
Well, people think that's crazy, right? So like I tell people in town, I'm like, yeah, I own a couple businesses. I'm also an entrepreneur. I work as a, engineering manager for a Fortune 500 company. It's just like, they're like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, entrepreneur, all that shit, go. you work at this company? I'm like, well, yeah, it's not like, I do it because it's exciting and I learn a lot about leadership and I think it's really rewarding.
That is a good job.
Yeah, I think it's really rewarding and fulfilling, but is my end goal to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company? It's like, no, the end goal is to be the CEO of my own Fortune 500 company.
Well, because also too, like, yes, you're impacting a lot of lives in his current position, but think about if he produced a movie, how many lives you would be impacting. That's just taking it to the next level. Like maybe you're impacting a couple hundred lives, families, your employees, things like that. Not employees, but your team. But then now if he creates a movie that has a lot of potential to impact millions of people's lives and their families and friends, like talk about the impact there, like that should be praised. Like, holy smokes, you have that thought to go after that goal, or to actually, like, you have that thought you have that thought to go after that dream. Like, that is incredible, because I don't want to be a movie producer. That's not in my head. It's in his head for a reason.
Well, it comes down to the fact that what the dreams and goals that you have in your mind were given to you. Yes. And you have to act on them regardless. And people dismiss them thinking, like, with words such as unrealistic or can't be done or impossible or whatever, which is literally just the devil's way of getting in the way. You were given, probably when you were a child sometime, you had a bunch of dreams and ambitions and goals of how you thought your life was going to be. And then eventually somewhere down the road, you decided, no, I can't do that because someone told me I couldn't, because somebody rejected me, because I got this type of degree, because I got this type of job, because it's unrealistic, it's too challenging, it's too competitive, it's not going to work. It might fail. All these things. And then you decided to tell some narrative that says, I don't do this, I won't do this, and I'm going to die at 75 years old with no memoir written, with a big flabby gut, because I never went. I just posted on this the other day. What if you're 75 years old, you're laying in bed, and you're like, I never got a chance to write my novel or my book or my memoir? What if you're laying in bed at 75 and you say, I never got a chance to go to the beach, to go to different pools and travel the world because I was too embarrassed to wear a freaking swimsuit because I have a big flabby gut and I had thick thighs? I mean, what if you were to the point where you said, I did everything I wanted to do because I had a relentless pursuit for my dream, for my ambition, for everything? And it's like, too many people allow the noise to get in their way and stop them from something that they actually care about, for something they actually want to do. And some people will actually take, like, things that they think are their dreams and then really, like, gosh, I mean, I know people that invest into real estate that they'll tell me, like, so I had a friend that really wanted to get into real estate investing, and he's currently the president of a company right now, really wants to get into real estate investing. And I'm just like, okay, dude, you have a really awesome company. Like, why are you trying to get into real estate investing? And then I have these other real estate investor friends that are like, what the hell do you want to be a real estate investor for? Where you could just totally go do something totally different that's like way cooler. And it's like,
or broaden this company to new levels.
And it's like, so some of my real estate investor friends are sitting there like, well, we're not really doing real estate out of our higher purpose. But then, like, I have other friends that are like, well, that's the only way to achieve passive wealth and freedom. And it's like, here's the thing, guys. It's none of them. It's what is authentic to you in your own personal dream and mission, and how do you bring that out into some type of monetizable gift that you can provide to the world. I mean, I think of an axis. There's an axis, right? And on one side of the axis, you say, how many people can I provide value to? 1 to a billion, or the entire world, right? 1 to whatever. And then you have on the other axis, you have how much money or how much value is this going to bring to the individual? So you can think, the curve is very valuable. And then on the other side, you have, if I have a ton of people but I bring very little to it, think of a movie or some type of entertainment or a comedy event, very little value but lots of people you can reach, you still make a ton of money. Now, when you really kill it is when you can provide a ton of value to a ton of people, and that's where you start to truly maximize the amount of money. But it's like, that is where you got to start thinking about, how do I truly find value in something? Where do I go? You know, we got some questions over here. Can you read that, Mom? Excuse me.
Well, it's not really a question. The passion for your beliefs is alive in your wife, and that is more important than a random stranger who's more interested in the fact that you work in Oshkosh.
Oh,
totally agree. So listening to the people who love and support you the most, instead of just the random people you find throughout the day.
Right.
And that sink in. Don't let what everybody else and their mothers have to say. Let the people who have that full support and that full belief in what your potential is, let that sink in. Let that sink in what they have to say.
So I think it's pretty cool, I think, when you start to think about the power of your choices and who you take advice from. It's extremely powerful. And it's like removing the noise, but also concentrating on noise. Have you ever gone into a loud room, maybe a club or something, and you can hear what the person's saying to you when you're talking to them, when you're focusing on that person? but there might be music playing. There might be people trying to get your attention. There might be conversations going on. There's a ton of stimulus going around, and you can totally hold a conversation with the person that you came there with if you're focusing on that person. But too many of us walk into the club and we're just sitting there, just jiving, and we don't think about, what are we coming to listen to? Are we coming to listen to the music? Are we coming to have the conversation? Are we coming to observe something? Like, we're walking through the club with all the different stimulus, and we got to start to concentrate in onto what we're actually focusing on. But if I'm going to a club and I'm saying, like, look, I want to come to attract a mate. Okay, that's where I want to go to the club for. I want to go attract the woman of my dreams at some club.
Oh, what kind of club?
Then I should probably really try to concentrate on talking to that person and listening to what they're saying and tuning out the music and all the different distractions. But if I'm coming there and I just want to listen to everything, I mean, unless you guys are doing something that really probably isn't good for your body, I don't think that that's going to work out very well, right? So it's like, think about the power of focus, the power of shutting off stimulus that isn't serving you and realigning it into something that actually matters. I don't know if that was a good example, probably a bad example.
I guess this is coming from the guy who says that it's better that we say we met in a club or a bar than we did on Tinder, but not going there.
Hey, that's the way millennials meet now.
That was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, that was legit. That was
a long time ago.
back when you had unlimited swipes.
You have to pay for it. So funny. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. This was so fun, and thank you for having me on your live.
Yeah, guys,
your
if you guys enjoy these messages, or you want to see Marissa more or less.
Oh, guys, this conversation that's coming up on the podcast on Monday is really incredible.
Marissa's jumping on Monday. We go pretty deep into some cool ideas.
I'm gonna keep plugging myself
thoughts
in here because there's just some gold that comes out of our mouths.
Yeah, it only comes out like when we improvise. I don't know, some people like really think about what they're about to say, and it probably isn't to my advantage that I don't do that all the time. But what you guys are getting is just raw. That's just us. This is how we talk. This is what we think about. This is what we do. So this is how
pretty typical Saturday morning.
How we live our lives, But if you guys like this message, you want to hear more of it, just shoot me a note. Let me know. Send me a DM on my Instagram if you want to hear some more of this stuff. Share it on Facebook. Share it on whatever platform you're listening to this on. If it's a podcast or anything, leave comments, leave likes. That's how this stuff starts to circulate. And if it helped you in any way, it's going to help somebody else. It's going to help change somebody's mind, shift someone's perspective. And that's what we're trying to do. Like, this whole world we live in is you were given very little choice over your beliefs because you learned a certain worldview. And our idea is, how do we shake that up a little bit and allow you to be a leader in your own influence sphere, wherever that is in the world. So the only way we can do that is if you guys comment, if you guys like, if you guys engage with us, if you guys share.
It's like money. It's just an exchange of energy.
Yeah.
So when I listen to an awesome podcast or I'm subscribed to something, like, I am going to leave a review because I'm like, wow, they gave me so much value. They gave me so much energy. Let me return that energy to them with just some comments and what I loved about it. So
I sincerely appreciate you guys jumping on it and leaving comments. It really means a lot. We read through them. We always try to reply to people that leave us messages. So if you want to find me or engage with me, you can always engage on my Facebook page. You can engage with my Instagram. I always respond. You can go email me, info@aaronjarmstrong.com. Someone on my team will definitely get back to you and make sure that I can read it and engage. If you want to go to my website, aaronjarmstrong.com. All my information's on there. Everything you want to know about me is on my website. Probably too much information about me is on my website. So you can go there, all my socials, everything, podcast, the whole shebang. If you'd like to see Marissa.
Yeah, Marissa Armstrong. Let's be friends on Facebook. Totally. And check out my business on Facebook too as well. I'm not as active on, that's not true. So my business is not as active on Instagram, but do give me a follow. And
and your business is Marissa's
Marissa's Fit Boutique, of course. So
yeah, so you can follow Marissa. You go to marissasfitboutique.com. She's got all her information right there. And you guys can always engage.
Maybe I'll be back next Saturday. This was fun.
Yeah, maybe we should do these all the time, right?
Leave your opinion. I kind of want to know.
Yeah, if you guys want Marissa back, say yes right now. Type yes.
No, you don't have to.
Okay, yeah, we're really putting it to the test. But anyway, we're going to go hit the gym. So you guys have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for listening. And make sure you share, comment, and with people if you enjoyed this. Thank you.
Adios.